This is episode number 314 of the Homeowner Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowner Show. We are so glad that you could join us for another live episode in the studio. What's going on, Kevin?
Oh, man, you know, spring break is over. It is... Life feels good right now.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, life feels good right now.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean...
It's a little nip in the air. It's a little nip in the air.
Yeah, in the mornings and in the evenings, definitely there. Yeah, in the mornings and in the evenings, definitely there. You know, cool in the cool in the morning, warms up in the afternoon. Yeah, morning warms up in the afternoon. Yeah, March Madness is coming. So lots of fun stuff. So lots of fun stuff.
I was playing a gig last night, and one of the guitar players had his iPhone propped up on his pedal board because he's a Kentucky fan.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would be too if I was an A&M fan. So yeah, I mean, I would be too if I was an A&M fan. So you know,
you would be what?
I'd be too if I was an A&M fan.
Oh, I don't even know. Are they not doing any good?
Well, I mean, no, they've not done great. They've not done great. They were doing better, and then they tanked at the end.
They tanked at the end.
Yeah.
Are they are they not going to be in the tournament?
No, they're in the tournament.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they were ranked pretty highly.
I think I remember seeing them. They were ranked pretty high.
Yeah, they were in the top 10, and then they tanked.
Well, they've been ranking over the last several years in basketball, which is weird.
Tanked.
Well, they've been ranking over the last several years in basketball, which is weird for them. I mean, they're not a basketball school.
No.
More of a baseball school.
Yeah.
I mean, they always seem to do really well in baseball.
Yeah.
And what's girls basketball? I think
they do well there.
I think they do really well in girls basketball.
Interesting.
Maybe they've got some fellas.
It's very possible. Very possible.
Oh, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
So, which by the way, man, I know. Okay, so we've both been out of town.
Yeah,
on separate trips.
We're gonna talk about it.
Continuing our getting out of the house series.
Yeah,
the trips that Craig and Kevin take. But to series.
Yeah,
the trips that Craig and Kevin take. But to whip on a dead horse. I am loving the complete implosion of Bill Burr. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So, and there's people still standing behind him because they're morons. But
pretty much.
Now,
look, when I left, I disconnected.
You disconnected. Good.
Oh,
good for you.
Complete. I turned my notifications off. I didn't even take my computer. I disconnected. So no, I did not hear.
So. I think I talked about this last time, is some of the bigger podcasters have now jumped on to the Homeowner Show bandwagon.
Yeah.
Which is that Bill Burr is horrible.
Yeah. Shocker.
Here's the thing I appreciate, that people that are going after him, they're acknowledging that Bill is funny.
Which we wouldn't disagree with.
We wouldn't disagree. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He can be hilarious.
Yeah.
On these issues, he's stupid.
Yeah.
He doesn't really seem to understand economics. He doesn't really seem to understand civics. Or
basic humanity in general.
Maybe it has something to do with his mutation. But I don't, maybe. But here's the thing: is now he's ranting about Elon Musk, and I kid you not, he is saying, I don't understand why people like this Nazi.
Oh, calling names again.
Well,
with the names.
Yes, with the names.
Yeah.
And did you see the infamous supposed Sig Heil that Elon did at a rally?
Yes, I did.
That's what he's referencing.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And did it look kind of like that?
I mean, especially out of context.
To be fair to the critics, was it a good call on Elon's part?
No.
Probably not. Probably not great.
And he probably knows better.
I don't know. I don't know. So here's the thing: is it's not confirmed, but he said on Rogan one time that he's autistic.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, and so like it could be like
Maybe.
that. He just did and didn't really like think through like what does that look like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I try to like with most things, including Bill Burr, I try and give like what's the most generous.
Until you give me a reason not to.
Right. What's the most generous description or reason I could give for something like this happening?
Sure.
And like I'm sorry, like the Elon Musk thing, like he's giving me no reason to think that he's actually like some secret Nazi
Right.
that's operating in the U.S. trying to overturn the republic.
Yeah.
No, sorry. That's just not on my bingo card.
I'll tell you who I really love listening to about Elon is Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
Listening to him, like, who are just down on
Right.
Elon for what he's doing.
Sure.
Charlie, the way Charlie approaches it is just really, really. I like the way Charlie approaches a lot of things.
I do appreciate many things that Charlie says.
Yes,
Like not all of them,
of course.
but many of them.
Yeah.
So anyway, Bill Burr is just and then he's like going after Elon's like physical appearance.
Okay.
And making fun of that. And like here's the thing is like
pot or kettle.
Wait, he went after him. He went after him. Have you seen like old pictures of Elon
Yes.
where it looks like he's balding?
Yes.
So he went after that.
Okay.
And I'm like,
You're bald.
you're bald.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand why this is a thing, but like you're bald.
Yeah, you're clearly
and
bald.
Like, okay, Elon had some work done. And then he was like, he was saying something about how he looked like a laminate faced. And I'm like, dude, like, okay, he's a very successful billionaire.
Yeah.
But like, he's also said that he's autistic. So
Yeah.
are you making fun
Oh.
of an autistic guy?
Uh-huh.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. And
I like, which by the way, I don't actually care.
Sure.
But like,
What are you doing? How far are you going? And it is a little odd too, because like of all the things that I've understood about Elon, one of the things that I don't.
He also said that his cars were shit.
Oh well,
I'm quoting him, by the way.
which is hilarious because they're not. But the thing that's bizarre to me is I don't see Elon as someone who's going to be like, hey, you know what I'm about to do? I'm going to take time to go get plastic surgery.
And maybe
He did. I just don't see him as the type of person that's going to take his time to do that. Now, obviously, he got some hair work done.
obviously.
But nevertheless, this is the same guy that's been sleeping on the floor while he's doing this work. But again, if he is even somewhere on the spectrum, it makes sense with the way he works.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets fixated on things
For sure.
and then things get done.
Right.
Which, by the way, part of my trip report that I probably will forget to say is that we watched the space rocket take off.
Oh, nice.
We
That's
did
rescuing.
Yes, that's going
the astronauts from the space station.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Look, this is the thing
is
I
what-
don't understand about people is like look, this is a guy who literally wants to go save people from the space station.
Right.
And like
Right.
you're telling me he's a Nazi.
Right.
And we shouldn't let him do it.
Right.
Because you think he's a Nazi.
Right.
Because you think that the hand motion that he made at a rally,
Uh-huh.
which really wasn't even like a Sig Heil, like if you've ever actually
Right.
seen any videos of
It's not
German Nazis doing that salute,
not the same.
it doesn't look like that. But like you want to those people in space who have been sitting up there for months.
Close to a year, right?
I don't know that it's getting close to a year.
Okay.
I don't know that. I think it's been like 8 months.
Oh, that feels like close to a year to me.
I'm sure to them it feels like a year.
Yeah.
So and somebody can fact check me. I think it's been like 8 months.
Okay.
But like you want that to stop
Yeah.
and not to go get them
Yeah.
because you think a thing about him.
Right.
I'm
No,
sorry. I
it's-
Like,
it's ridiculous.
and those same people would probably be celebrating and clapping if the Chinese space program sent a rocket up there to go get them.
Sure, because it's not Elon.
Because
But-
exactly.
But it was very serendipitous. I'll cut to the chase. I was having a bad day, and I can explain why later. But I was having a bad day. We'd gone into the Magic Kingdom, and we were rounding the corner from the main hub there near the castle to Tomorrowland.
Right.
And we see just a bunch of people standing around. I mean, nothing crazy. And then all of a sudden we hear people clapping. We look up and we see and cheering, and we see the rocket taking. This is just so serendipitous. The rocket is taking off over the top of Tomorrowland of all places. And, taking off from Kennedy Space Center, right? And so just awesome.
Dude,
Just so cool.
I will tell everyone in the audience right now, I grew up near Cape Canaveral.
Yeah.
And one of the most amazing, I saw several shuttle launches in my youth. And I saw, like, from across the St. Johns River, we're like NASA employees and like Lockheed Martin and Boeing and all those guys. Had dinner with, astronaut. I lived in a community with lots of astronauts and things like that growing up. And many times we didn't get to go to the launch, but we lived close enough that when the rockets would take off, it would shake the windows in our house.
Oh my goodness.
Like being near one of those things when it actually lifts off, when like you feel the literal earth tremble from the sheer power of those things, it is an incredible experience.
Yeah.
Like one that everybody should get to see close up, as close as close as you can be that's safe.
Yeah.
And you can feel it.
Sure.
Everyone should get to experience that. That is something that we have accomplished as a species.
Absolutely.
For all those people out there that are like doubters about like the moon landing, I don't really care if like you think that we landed on the moon or not. I know that we've been to space.
Sure.
And that we've accomplished that, and just feeling that and being able to be around that and then talk to people that have done it.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't know what it was like when you saw it there, but like,
it was just, we didn't feel it that far away, but seeing, I mean, you know the feeling even as a dad watching your kid shoot off rockets, in the parking lot or wherever.
right.
It's like, wow. I mean, that thing just shot up there, whatever. Like seeing an actual rocket take off, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. Just the fire coming out of the bottom, the smoke, the contrail that it left. Like, anyway, very, very cool.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a big fan.
yeah, me too.
So anyway, let's get to these trips because you took one, I took one.
Yes.
Mine was a little bit shorter than yours.
Sure.
Which one do you want to do first?
Let's go with yours first.
Okay, so mine's pretty simple. We right before spring break hit, we had a family wedding that we had to go to in Alabama.
Okay.
And one of my wife's goals for us as a family is to go to as many national parks.
Oh, I thought you were going to say weddings.
We would.
It feels like that sometimes.
We would probably not be married if that was the goal. We have different goals.
Very different goals.
But no, one of my wife's goals for us as a family is to go to as many national parks as possible before the kids move
I
out.
love it.
So we've done several already, but this wedding was going to be in North Alabama.
Okay.
And so anytime we have a trip that we're obliged to go on, she always looks around that area and says, what's the closest national park?
Okay.
And interesting enough, there are no national parks in Tennessee.
Really?
Yes. Now, there are national monuments,
Okay.
and there's a difference. There's a difference.
Yeah, like Graceland
Not a national park.
or National Monument, actually.
Because there's like the Smoky Mountain,
Well, yeah. You got the Great Smoky Mountains right there.
which is not a national park.
It should be.
Maybe it should.
But anyway, it's not.
But anyway, at least not that we can
Interesting.
find. I mean,
I'm shocked.
somebody, correct me if I'm wrong, but we couldn't find one. There are national monuments.
Yeah.
There are there's other national things in Tennessee.
The Parthenon is there.
Yeah, but it's not a park.
It's not a park.
And there's this whole language around parks,
Oh, I'm sure.
and parks and monuments and things like that are managed very differently.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And treated differently, funded differently. So the closest national park to where we were going to be in northern Alabama was in Kentucky.
Oh, okay. So you got to go through Tennessee.
Through Tennessee.
Okay.
So what we did is we went to the wedding, had a good time, spent the next day. We hiked at a state park
Okay.
in Alabama,
Yeah.
which was really fun. It was Coleman, Alabama.
Okay.
There's a little state park there with a cute little waterfall. We hoped there's even like a little cave you can walk through
cool.
called Twilight Cave. I mean, it's kind of scary because it gets really dark in the middle.
Love that.
But like it's like actually something you can like walk through.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so we did that, and then the next day we got up, and up until this trip, I'd never been to Nashville,
Really?
and it was like right in the middle of our drive.
Huh.
And so I was like, look, let's plan a stop in Nashville. So we stopped, we parked, we walked up and down Broadway.
Okay.
Which I assume you've been.
Yep, I have.
And if you've never been to Nashville, Broadway is where all like the little honky tonks are, and they've got these huge windows outside where they'll open them up, and musicians will actually come out of the window and like talk to you while they're playing their gig. And like, trying to like, hey, come in here. We're playing good music in here.
Because these stages are like the size of this table.
Yeah.
In these little like restaurant bars. Yeah.
So we went to Hattie B's.
Oh yeah.
And had some Nashville hot chicken.
Good.
And my daughter, look, the heat on Nashville chicken is just different.
Yeah, it
hits different than like what we're used to here in Texas with like salsa.
Yeah.
It's just it's like different than Cajun heat. It's just a different kind of heat. I don't know what it is. It's just different. And my daughter, my eldest, got the second from the hottest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's hot.
It is hot.
Yeah. That's hot.
And so she ordered it and she was eating it, and she brought me a piece down, and she's like, I need you to try this. And I ate it, and I was like, that's not so bad. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, this is the worst day of my life.
Is it milk? Is it vinegar? What do I drink?
It's give me something. I'll pour mustard in my mouth. I don't just like whatever it takes to fix this. It was the worst. So Nashville was cool. The other thing is right down the block from Hattie B's is an Ariat store.
Oh, nice.
And I'd never been to an Ariat store.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'm going to go check this out.
Yeah.
So, and they had a lot of cool stuff in there that you don't really find at other Western stores. And,
Sure.
and you and I have talked about like Ariat. Like we both love Ariat boots.
In my opinion, the most comfortable boot available.
Agreed. And I think I'm wearing some right now.
Yeah.
Yep. Facts. And I learned something about them that I did not know.
Okay.
Do you know where the name comes from?
No.
I didn't either. They're named after Secretariat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would have never even guessed that.
Me
at
either.
all.
So like they
Wow.
took the end of his name
And just made that the name.
and made that the brand of the boot and the clothing. And so like they have a big poster in the store talking about why they named the company after Secretariat.
Well, the developer, the person that made the boots is a big cowboy.
Yeah.
She is a big cowboy.
Yeah.
And she worked for Reebok.
Yeah.
And she wanted a pair of boots that she could run around like her Reeboks in.
And like when I saw it, I was like, that makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
Like
That's interesting.
The best performance horse of all time.
All time.
Like name your boot after him.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
I love it.
One more reason to love them.
Yeah.
Well, so it is Ariat.
Yeah.
Secretariat.
Secretariat.
Ariat.
Yeah.
I always called it Ariat,
Yeah.
but it's Ariat.
Ariat.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you know.
Now I know.
I didn't know that either.
That's cool.
So, and I was literally walking through the store and I was like, hey.
Hello. Okay. Cool.
So anyway, we did that, and then we kind of walked up and down Broadway, and then we went to Kentucky to Mammoth Cave.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Yeah, Mammoth Cave is incredible. What a cool park. So I learned lots. Most of it was privately held. There have actually been cave tours going on there for over 130 years.
Oh my.
right?
Wow.
And
That seems dangerous.
well, and like, so, and back in the day, the cave tours lasted about 18 hours. That's how long and how big these caves are. Now,
Goodness.
part of the reason it was 18 hours is because this was something that the wealthy people did. And they know that it's the wealthy people that did it because they found broken heels and top hats
Interesting.
and things inside the cave left over from when people used to tour the cave.
Okay.
People, and so like the wealthy people would get dressed up in their finest, go on these cave tours that were like 18 hours long.
Oh my.
In like their fancy duds.
That sounds terrible.
Well, and they didn't have the lights. They
Sure.
had candles.
Sure.
And that's part of what took so long.
Because they just couldn't go very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's been going on for years and years, but it was privately owned.
Okay.
And now, and so what they know now is it's the longest. It's hard to say that it's the longest because it's not like one contiguous line,
Okay.
but it's the most miles in any cave in the world.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's like close to like 550 miles
Oh my
of
goodness.
caves that they have discovered.
Yeah, there's probably more than that.
Well, what they said while we were there is they're expecting, as they continue to explore, which they're still exploring,
Yeah.
is they're expecting to discover about 1,000 miles.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Yeah.
And there are
We've been to a cave together
yes,
and it's awesome.
it is. It's
Yeah.
incredible. The Natural Bridge Caverns,
Yeah.
which are awesome. These are just there's more to them, and they're not. The caves aren't as big.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they're not as like expansive
Sure.
on the inside.
Yeah.
But there are big caverns that you can still get into.
Okay.
But then there's like really cool, like smaller tunnels that you can get through in order to get to other big ones.
I like it.
And I think the first tour that we did was like an hour and a half long.
Okay.
And then the second one that we did was like an hour long.
That's a good amount of time in a cave.
And those were two tours that we took out of about 6 different tours that you
wow.
can take.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all needed more time.
We got to see a lot.
Sure.
And so we took the historic tour, which is like the main tour that you can take. And then there's another tour that's a separate set of caves that this oil and gas guy back in the day set up as an alternative business venture to the main cave.
Okay.
And so he would like name things in his cave very similar to the one that everybody else knew.
Okay.
And like this guy was telling us all kinds of stories. Like
Interesting.
back in the day, he would actually hire employees and then have them dress up as police officers and stand out on the road because his cave was on the road first. And he
Direct people to.
and he would have the cops go like, "Where are you going?"
Oh, that's over here.
And, "Oh, you're looking for that? That's actually shut down, but there's one right here that you can go." And like and have them lie.
Wow.
You know, and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
So it was kind of cool. So we did his cave tour.
Okay.
And because he was an oil and gas guy, he had access to dynamite, and so he inadvertently attached his caves
Oh.
to their caves.
Okay.
And then all of the land ended up getting seized by eminent domain.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And so there's actually like some controversy around that.
I bet I can see that.
Yeah. So, and so like the park rangers are like, we just kind of own it. We're not proud of it, but we did it.
But here we are.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So I mean, the park itself, highly recommend going.
Okay.
To. There is a restaurant on the because there's actually like a hotel right there in the park that you can stay at.
Okay.
And there's a restaurant and we went to the restaurant because the restaurant had some Kentucky specific dishes and some themed bourbon.
Ooh.
For like that was only you could only get in the park, and
Okay.
then some beer that was only for the park that they had brewed specifically for the park.
Okay.
The beer and the bourbon was good.
All right.
The food sucked.
Oh man.
So
Don't do that. Come on.
For those of you that don't know, Kentucky has a very specific dish, and I think it centers around the Kentucky Derby,
Okay.
called the hot brown.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this.
Yeah, it's a turkey and ham sandwich.
Sure.
Smothered sandwich.
Didn't it have like brown gravy on it or something?
It's like a brown cheese gravy.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was like I've had a hot brown before, and it was way better than this. This was just like thick.
Yeah.
glue.
But I kind of feel this way about like the Masters getting pimento cheese sandwich at the Masters. And I'm like,
Look,
come on.
I mean, like
I don't want pimento cheese.
You can have a good pimento cheese sandwich.
Maybe. I just haven't. So.
Well, look, let me put it to you this way. You've had a good grilled cheese, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Not all.
Not all.
Right.
But like if you took some good pimento cheese, some bacon,
Okay.
tomato,
Yeah.
and some pickles,
Mm-hmm.
grilled that booger.
I can see where you're going.
Right. You can do it right.
Sure.
Just like you could do the hot brown right.
But they just didn't.
Their hot brown sucked. So they did have some decent fried green tomatoes.
Oh, I love fried green tomatoes.
I do. I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah,
so
me
like,
too.
look, if I come to your restaurant and you serve me fried green tomatoes, don't screw them up.
No,
It's like
and,
my favorite. It's like my favorite thing.
and it's very difficult. It's not an easy dish.
It's not.
Right.
It's not. You need some good remoulade
Mm-hmm.
to go with that. But theirs were pretty good.
Okay.
Everything else was terrible. The food wise.
Yeah.
The bourbon was good. The beer was pretty good.
Yeah.
Tried that. The facilities themselves were nice. The park rangers were incredible. Great guides.
Love that.
Really like engaging, good storytellers, knew their stuff. Weren't suffering from Elon's evil Doge cutbacks. At least it seemed like it.
Yeah. Good.
So anyway, really good experience.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Cool.
Florida. Your trip was much longer than mine.
We were gone for a week.
Right.
And we went to Disney World. And I'll tell you, this has been a year in the making. We intended, last minute last year, spring break, we were like, let's go to Disney World.
Right.
Let's just do last minute. Well, it was going to be the plane tickets alone threw us off, so we didn't do that. So we planned this year.
Yeah, you told me the ones last year were like $1,000 more than what you paid
It
this
was
year.
almost $1,200 more.
Yeah,
and it
that's
was just
nuts.
like, it's ridiculous. So we were just like, we need another year to kind of prepare for this. So, but
Gird your loins.
Yeah, that's right. But the thing that I'm glad we didn't go last year is because what I realized very quickly by going this year is that my kids were at what I consider the perfect age. And I'll say this. People have asked me, I don't know how many times, when's a great time to take your kids? And my answer is always now. Take them now. Like now's the best time.
I mean, here's my only caveat to that, man. Like if your kid's like 1, and
I
that's
mean,
like
even
the only
then-
if that's like the only kid that you have,
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I would even say go. Like
I mean,
you can still get some incredible pictures with them. They're never going to remember it.
they're
but
not.
like,
Yeah, that's
but
my
at that
issue.
point-
Is they're not going to remember.
it's still for you.
It
at that
is
point,
for you.
But if they're 3, take them. If they're 5, take them. If they're 10, take them. If they're 18, take them. Like whenever
I
like,
agree.
take 'em.
I agree because 3 is different than 1.
It absolutely is different.
3, there's some stuff they can do.
Absolutely.
1,
yes.
I mean, like you're literally just
You're holding
torturing them, pushing them in a stroller the whole day.
yeah, you're holding them.
So I mean,
Yeah.
like that's
Or-
my
or
like
pushing
if
them.
if you have like a 5 and 6-year-old and a 1-year-old,
Yeah, that's still different.
go.
Yeah.
Like, but if it's just a 1-year-old, I mean,
Yeah.
like if you just have to go.
Yeah.
But like, just understand,
That's what you're doing.
it's not for them.
No,
Don't
it's for
lie
you.
to me.
No, it's for you. Yeah, we actually have some friends that had a baby just before Christmas, and they just took their kid to Disneyland. So
Like that's their only kid.
yeah, only one.
Oh, is this from your work?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, of course.
So
And that
But-
wasn't for that kid.
no, it wasn't. It was for them. But nevertheless, so I tell people go now. Maybe a caveat here or there, but go now. But there's some really cool ages.
Yes.
And my kids are 10 and 12 right now.
Right.
And they are old enough. You don't need a stroller. You don't need to take, massive breaks. You can wake up early and stay late if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not old enough to go, that's not cool. Whatever that is, right? Everything is still cool. Everything is still magical. when Tinkerbell flies from the castle to, you know, the back, you know, or really the front of the park, they're like, wow, that's awesome. Is she
Right.
really flying? You know, like still very magical, but old enough to do everything. Like they can ride literally everything.
I was
at
going to
that
ask,
point.
was there anything they were too short for?
No,
That's
nothing.
awesome. Yeah,
they were like both of them rode Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
And
Is there a height restriction
There
on that one?
is.
Okay.
There is. And so everybody could do everything. And so when I realized that, I was like, okay, here's the deal. We're gonna do this trip as if it is our like perfect trip.
Mhm.
We're gonna do everything that we want to do, how we want to do it, but we're not gonna tell them we're going.
Mm.
And so my wife is like, what do you mean? Like, do you want to tell them at Christmas? And I'm like, no, I don't want to tell them we're going.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, so do you want to tell them like the week before we're leaving so we can pack? I'm like, no, I don't want to tell them we're going. She was like, what do you mean? What are we? I was like, I want to wake them up and say, get in the car. We're going to Disney World.
Mm.
And she was like, how are we going to do that? And I was like, I don't know, but that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that sounds awesome. And she goes, well, how are we going to get them packed? I was like, I don't know. We'll pack them.
Yeah.
I'm like, she was like, well, our daughter's getting a little more picky about what she wears these days. I'm like, she only has so much clothes.
Right.
Like, we don't have 2 weeks worth of clothes for her. So we'll just put it in the suitcase and go. And she's like, well, I won't have time to do it. I'll take a day off. I'll do whatever I need to do. I'll pack.
Right.
I'll take care of it. So that's what we did. We had to get up at 5:30 in the morning, and I videoed the whole thing. Did you see it yet? Did
No,
you
I
see
haven't watched the video. No.
Okay, so I videoed, and my wife and I are sitting there going, okay, it's 5:40 in the morning. We're about to tell our kids. They don't know. And so we go wake them up, put them on the couch, tell them we're going. They freak out, and we literally hop in the car and go. Like the bags are packed in the car already. We literally went straight to the airport. And we stayed at the Animal Kingdom Lodge,
Uh-huh.
and we got 6-day tickets, and we were there for 7 nights. So we basically, the plan was we would do 5 days in the park and 1 off day, and then we would have a flex day if we wanted to. If we wanted to go into the park during our off day, we can. Or
Right.
the last day we're there, we're not planning on going and doing anything, but our flight leaves late. Maybe we'll go ride one last ride or something. Who knows? So we got plenty of park tickets to do whatever we wanted to. We wanted to stay at a deluxe resort, and we decided to stay at the Animal Kingdom Lodge because it's got the animals.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, again, this crazy cool age where we got a Savannah view to where you can just look out, see the animals out your balcony. We got a 1-bedroom suite, which one of the things that's really cool, Animal Kingdom is the only Disney Vacation Club resort that has 2 bathrooms in the 1-bedroom suites.
Oh, okay.
So that's another reason we're like, okay, we'll get 2 bathrooms instead of just the one. You got the animals out the balcony, and there's animals in different places of the resorts you can go see as well.
Yeah.
And so we did literally everything that we wanted to do. We ate at really great places. Some of the places we ate at Woody's Backyard Barbecue, which is a newer place in Hollywood Studios. You feel like you are in a toy box.
Okay.
That is the goal of eating there, is you're in a toy box. There's no characters, but they do some special things. Like, for example, things come over the loudspeaker, and every once in a while, Andy comes. Like, Andy's coming. He's got to go get the pizza at the door or something. And when he's coming, everybody has to freeze because you're a toy in a toy box.
Right.
And so that was really good. Great food, great atmosphere, lots of fun. We took the kids to the Hoop-to-Doo musical review, which is a dinner show at Fort Wilderness. Have you ever done that?
I've never done it, but I know what it is. I mean, like, I've stayed at Fort Wilderness.
Okay, so it's a really corny stage show, but again, if you knew my son, the 10-year-old, he's pretty corny himself. He absolutely ate it up, loved it.
Yeah.
My daughter did too, but we did that. We ate at a place called Space 220, which is it's in Epcot, and the idea is that you're 220 miles up in space at this space station eating, and you can see out the windows Earth. And there are things that happen out there. Like at one point, there were a couple of astronauts that come by and they're floating in the air, and all of a sudden they pull out lightsabers and start fighting each other. Little crazy stuff that happens. The food there, I'd heard really mixed reviews on the food. That it was really terrible, not great, and for the price you pay, which is hefty, not worth it.
Is that the one where you have to take the elevator?
Yes.
Up to it?
Yes,
It's like a simulated.
It's a simulated 220 mile in the air elevator.
Right.
And so you see down below and up above, you see yourself going up this elevator 220 miles in the air. Now, you're not moving at all.
Right.
But you feel like you are.
Is that worth it?
The experience?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
Okay.
I loved every part of it. But again, I probably look at Disney different than some people that maybe go for the first time, where they're like, okay, I've spent a lot of money to do this. It better be worth it. I walk into most things going, this is going to be cool.
Right.
And I just choose to enjoy it.
Sure.
So, and I loved it. The food I thought was great.
Okay.
The only problem is I think I got food poisoning there.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, no.
It was the only dark spot in our entire trip. And
Nobody else got sick?
nobody else got sick. And now
Did you have something different from everybody else?
so my kids had their own thing. My wife and I both ordered the same main dish, which was a filet mignon.
Okay.
I ordered a different appetizer than my wife. My wife ordered a butternut squash soup, and I ordered some shrimp tacos.
Okay.
And it was like a crispy shell with shrimp inside, but it wasn't warm shrimp. It was more like a cocktail type shrimp.
Okay.
And now again, it's hard to pinpoint food poisoning.
Sure.
But
If you had to guess, you'd guess
if I
the
had
shrimp.
to guess, it was a shrimp.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
I think that's fair.
Because that night, about 2:00 in the morning, I woke up and I went, something's not right. 4:00 in the morning, it
Things were definitely not right.
exited. Yeah, the food exited.
Yeah.
And that was
Things were swimming.
that was not a fun day. I will tell you, thankfully
Was that the bad day?
that was the bad day.
Oh, okay.
That was the bad day that I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
My kids woke up, went to the park with my wife. They had lunch reservations at Tony's, which is kind of the Lady in the
Italian,
Tramp, the
yeah.
Italian place.
Which is it's like
It
a
is.
nicer, it's one of the nicer places in Magic Kingdom to
It
go
is.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of their
Even though like
table service
like,
restaurant.
it doesn't get good reviews.
It gets horrible reviews.
Right, yeah.
But my wife loves Italian food. You know that.
Uh-huh.
And she loved it this time. And my kids loved it. My daughter got a meatball, spaghetti and meatballs. The meatball was the size of her fist.
Right.
And she loved it. I don't actually know what my son got. He probably got chicken tenders. But I don't know. Anyway, but they loved it. And then I finally got enough Pepto and Imodium in me that I finally about 2:00 I went into the
together.
park and I was there for about an hour and a half before I was like, I gotta go. I mean, I hadn't eaten anything all day.
Yeah.
Anyway, went back, rested, and then about 6 we went back and I stayed till the park closed.
Okay.
And was able to do that. But that's when around 6. That's when we went back in and saw the space shuttle take off. And that
was at night.
It was
Or an evening,
it was
I guess.
evening. And man, that was just a cool experience. And
Yeah.
to be
Glad
able
you
to
got
see
out of
it-
bed for that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that was one of those deals where I was like, I will do a lot to go to Disney with my kids. If I'm here, like that, it was just terrible that I was like feeling the way I did.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this: the staff at Animal Kingdom was incredible. Like they came in, like changed all the the bedding, and they cleaned the toilet area, and they just took care of everything. They had like 4 people come in
Oh, wow.
and just like change it all.
Yeah.
and new linens, new towels,
nice.
all of
That
it.
makes a big difference.
It was they really took care of me. In fact, they called me the next day. They're like, "Hey, we know you're checking out. We just went ahead and extended you to get a late checkout so that you don't have to rush around too much." And then they started asking me questions like, "Hey, do you think it was Space 220 that you had the problem?" I was like, "Yeah, I think so." And they're like, "What did you have some, can I ask you some questions?" They asked me all these questions. They're like, "We're going to relay all this to Space 220 just so they know."
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Which probably helps diffuse it.
Oh, I'm sure it did with me.
You know what I mean? I mean,
did
like,
with
that way
me.
you're not taking to social media being like, well, Space 220,
Right.
the word, blah, blah, blah.
And honestly, look, that could have happened to anybody.
Sure.
And stuff like that happens. And there was no ill intent. The food actually tasted great.
Yeah.
I would go back. It did not make me go, I'm never going to that restaurant again.
Okay.
You know, and I know a lot of people probably would feel like I'm never going to that restaurant again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of like, hey,
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. So I have questions for you.
Ask me.
All right. So I know you said that your kids were tall enough
Yes.
for everything. Was there anything they didn't want to go on?
Yes. So I had lightning lanes for, which if you don't know what that means, basically there are certain attractions that if you want to ensure no matter what that you're not going to have to wait in line for it, you can just go through it quickly. You can pay extra to go on those. I had lightning lanes for Tron,
Okay.
and some other things, but Guardians of the Galaxy as well. But Tron, that was so the very first day was in Magic Kingdom. I had lightning lanes for them.
Did you guys have park hoppers?
We did,
Okay.
and we did not utilize those the way we have in the past.
Uh-huh.
I probably next time probably won't get them, but I wanted to have them just in case.
Sure.
And we did park hop once, but maybe twice. But anyway, they saw Tron and were like, "Yeah, I don't want to do that." And I was like, "Look, you don't have to. I'm not going to make you do anything, but I'm going to go on it."
Mm-hmm.
I paid for me and the two of you. My wife wouldn't do it if you like gave her an island. She wouldn't do it. She's death. She does not enjoy the feeling of her stomach dropping.
Uh-huh.
She does not enjoy that feeling. And she's like, "Look, I'm in my 40s. I don't have to do that." I'm like, "All right, good for you." So I had lightning lanes for me and my two kids. And they were like, "No, I don't think so." And I'm like, "Look, you like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. You like Space Mountain. One of their favorite rides in all of Disney World is Expedition Everest,
Okay.
and that's one of the bigger roller coasters.
It is one of the bigger ones, yeah.
And I'm like, "Look, if it goes backwards, like if you can do that, you can do this." And they're like, I don't want to." Okay, no problem. I'm sitting there going, "Oh, they're never going to go on Guardians. If they can't do Tron, Guardians is next level, different." But they did not want to do that. The other thing that
So let me ask you this, because I know a little bit about Guardians. You can't see what's going on in Guardians. You know what I mean?
it's more like Space Mountain in that it's dark inside.
Yeah,
but
but
there's big screens and you can kind of see, but no, it's still in the dark.
you don't actually see people in the cars moving through the, because Tron,
Right.
you can see the.
You can.
Okay.
Yes, you cannot. Yes, it is indoor. You can't look at the ride and go, "That looks scary."
Right.
And I think that's because I told my daughter, I was like, "Look, Expedition Everest, that thing is tall." That was her thing. "I don't want to go that high up in the air." I'm like, "That's not as high up in the air as Everest." And she's like, "It looks like it is." That was the thing for her. And so they didn't want to do it. Well, my son decided that he did actually want to do it
Okay.
on Friday.
All right.
So because we had lightning lanes for it again on Friday. That's the day I got sick.
Oh no.
And I was like, I can't. Like I cannot get on that ride like this.
Right. Yeah.
I just can't. And so he was disappointed that he didn't get to do that. Now the other ride that they didn't want to do, and my son actually did it anyway, was Tower of Terror.
Oh.
And my wife doesn't like that feeling. She's also scared of heights. So it's a double whammy on
Right.
Tower of Terror. Those of you who don't know, it's a drop ride.
Yeah.
And so uh he went on it and it scared the bejesus out of him.
Really?
He did not enjoy it. I think next time we go, he'll probably do it again because I think he thinks
Now he's gotten it out of the way.
I'm a little older, I can probably do it, and he's got it out of the way.
Yeah.
The one that I did not take them on for two reasons. Number one, I didn't want to stand in line for it. Number two, I genuinely did not think they would enjoy the inversions. Was Rock and Roller Coaster.
Okay.
We didn't even try. We didn't even try it on this trip.
Mm.
It's the only inversion coaster in all of Disney World. And it takes off at 60 miles an hour.
Right.
Like the launch is 60. So I knew that was going to be a tough one for them. Even if you see the launch once you get into the line.
Yeah.
And I think that we would have gotten there. They would have been like,
we're out.
heck no,
Uh-huh.
I'm out. So,
Which I think is most kids' reaction when they see it.
sure.
Well, that was my kid's reaction.
Yeah, and one of the things that I tell people about that ride, yes, it has inversions, but never have I ever ridden that and felt like there were inversions in it.
No.
Because the way they have, it feels like you're going down a highway, and
You're banking.
You're banking, but the signs are right side up as you're banking.
Right.
So they're curved like this, and anyway, it doesn't feel like you're doing inversions to me. It just feels like you're going really fast.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I mean, they love Flight of Passage, which is the Avatar ride.
Right.
They love Slinky Dog Dash. They love.
It's a great roller coaster.
Oh, it's so good. Rylan loved Rise of the Resistance, which is. It's got its own scare factor. My daughter doesn't want to ride it. She just doesn't like Star Wars. He does. We were all about Star Wars. The other thing we did, as a caveat, we chased pins. So they did the pin trading. My sister got the last trip we went on, which was 2021. She got them a slew of pins to trade.
Okay.
And so they traded some then. But they really got into it this time.
Okay.
They started chasing after specific pins and trying to get some sets. And we actually, I mean, there were pin boards everywhere. Cast members wearing them. We traded pins a lot during this trip.
All right. Yeah, because we're thinking about going for like a day in May.
Okay.
Because we're going to be there anyway. Specifically because they're closing Rock and Roller Coaster.
They're changing it out.
And Muppets.
Yes. So Muppets is closing in May.
Yep.
And Rock and Roller Coaster is changing from the Aerosmith theming to Muppets.
Okay.
They're changing it to Muppets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like we're thinking about going just so we can go on the Aerosmith ride one more time, just so we can go see the Muppet Show one more time. So like if we go, we're probably just doing Hollywood for like a day.
But I don't know when you are going. Is it the beginning of May?
Yeah.
Because you couldn't do it then. I think May 15th is the last day.
Yeah, it's like at the beginning of May.
Yeah.
So we looked at the date. So the other question I had was, so you did the Toy Story barbecue.
Yep.
You did Hoop-Dee-Doo review.
Yep. Space 220.
Space 220 and Chef Mickey.
Yep.
If you could only do one of them again, which one would you do?
That's a good question.
I've done a couple of them.
Okay.
And so I'm interested to see.
We've done Chef Mickey every time we've gone with the kids. I don't know if we'll keep that up forever, but that one's unique from the other ones because you get the Fab Five Disney characters.
That one is unique
in that. If I could only do one, I would probably do the Hoop-Dee-Doo.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
It's just fun. It's unique. It's fun. The kids really got into it. The food is good. It's fried chicken and ribs. It's hard to beat that.
If the food is better than other places, that helps.
It does. And here's the thing: the food at Woody's barbecue is pretty good. We're so spoiled. The barbecue here, like it's hard for me to be like, that was really good barbecue.
I-
It's just you're not going to get it.
No,
It was
Florida.
fine. It's Florida. It was fine, but the atmosphere is a lot of fun. We thoroughly enjoyed it. As far as Hollywood Studios go, I think it's the best sit down restaurant at Hollywood Studios. I think it's great.
Really?
Yeah,
Brown Derby?
I've never eaten the Brown Derby
I got to tell you.
because I don't. There's nothing in there that I think I really want to go there.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's the best one there.
Okay.
I've eaten there. It's really good.
I'm glad you think that. I'm never gonna go. I've never been, and I'm never gonna go. There's nothing on that menu that makes me go, I really want to go there.
I mean, unless they've changed the menu, like it's been a long time.
No, it's the same.
So I mean,
I don't think it's ever changed.
it's when I went, it was fantastic.
Okay. I'm glad to know that.
And like it was like the only, I think it still is like the only fine dining restaurant
is.
in Hollywood.
It is. As far as like fine dining, it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't get great reviews from most people, but for some people it does.
Yeah.
And especially if you want Cobb salad, they got a great Cobb salad apparently.
They do. It is good.
Yeah. So, but
Okay, so would you rather do the Toy Story barbecue or would you rather do sci-fi?
Toy Story.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I like the atmosphere better.
It's just like you like the theming better?
I like the theming better.
Okay.
And I think for with my kids, I think for kids in general, the sci-fi can be a little scary just because of the images that are on the screen. It's old sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
There's crazy big tarantulas that come at you and things like that, which and I think the food's better. I think the food is very mediocre at sci-fi. I do like the scenery personally. But the other thing is I don't like having to sit in rows when I'm with my family.
Yeah.
I like kind of sitting in a circle.
Like I've never been to the Toy Story one, but I'd probably still pick sci-fi.
That's fine.
1, for nostalgia.
Yeah.
2, suck it up, kid.
Yeah.
3, I like the seating in there because I can actually, like, my kids will stay engaged and I don't have to sit with them.
And you can sit with your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I'm
I
good
mean,
with that.
if I had to, like, those are my reasons. And I've not even been to the other one.
Yeah. I will tell you, I like 50s primetime too.
I've actually never eaten there.
I've done it multiple times. They've changed it up a little bit over the years. It used to be a lot more
I
used to be
I have eaten there one time. It's been a long time.
Okay.
Like I was in high school.
Okay.
And so
They used I can see, but like they used to be like very much like get your elbows off the table type of thing.
Which is why we went. We wanted to be sassy.
Sure. And
Yeah.
they used to be way more sassy than they currently are. I've always thought the food is pretty good. They got good shakes.
Meatloaf and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you get to watch like Andy Griffith on the TVs
Sure.
and like Mork and Mindy and different things like that, like old school stuff. But so I do like that. But overall, I think Woody's is great, and I don't disparage it at all.
I've liked everything that they've done in Toy Story Land. I think, I say that I didn't do like the spinny.
Oh, I didn't either.
thing.
Alien swirling saucers. No,
I mean, like, if you enjoy that, great.
I don't like spinning rides personally.
Same.
I don't
Like-
care for them.
like
And I think I was born with too much fluid in my brain.
I
get
think
dizzy easy.
I rode teacups just because like my daughters wanted to.
Yeah,
But I was like,
I don't like those.
This is the worst.
I hate it. I don't do it.
I feel like I'm wasting time.
Yeah, yeah. I will tell you, Woody's Lunchbox is really good food too.
So,
They have a brisket sandwich.
oh, like
brisket grilled cheese
not
sandwich.
not the restaurant, but like the lunchbox outside.
Yeah,
I have been there. That is
Okay.
good.
It's good. They also have so they've got a brisket grilled cheese that is very good. But the
I think
best
I
thing
actually
there,
had that when I was there.
The best thing there is the tachos.
Okay. Yeah.
They're it's basically tater tots,
Nachos with tater
loaded,
tots, yeah.
loaded nacho tater tots.
Yeah.
Fantastic, really, really good.
Yeah.
So we actually ate there too. So, yeah, all of them really good. But as far as just picking one, I'd probably do that.
Yeah. So we've gotten through the whole show. We probably need to thank our sponsors.
We absolutely should.
So
Well, let's start with
this episode has been brought to you by Lone Star Appliance Repair.
there you go.
So
Lone Star Appliance Repair. Man, I will tell you this. We we actually had a situation not too long ago that I was this close to calling Lone Star Appliance Repair because our dishwasher started making a really weird noise. And I'm like, what in the world is happening? Now I actually got down in there and realized that it needed to be cleaned. The tray, the basket in the bottom, it needed to be cleaned.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that was gross.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. Like really, really disgusting. And I promise you, for a call out, they would have cleaned it and it would have probably made me a lot happier. But there's all sorts of things that Lone Star Appliance Repair will do for you. If you've got a broken appliance, they will repair it for you as long as they can, as long as they can get the parts to it. But they also do maintenance plans.
Yeah.
And they will come take care of your things, make sure they are running well on a regular basis so that they will break down less frequently. Really, really good people.
Yeah.
And I encourage you to call them. Their number is 936-647-2364.
Yep. Our longest standing sponsor. Give them a call.
That's it.
Next sponsor is True Texas Solar and Roofing.
And roofing.
Yeah.
They are. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about these guys other than they're great.
Yeah.
They're great people. Josh and his crew, really, really great people. They are working hard right now. They're in a weird... The solar industry has a weird thing happening right now, trying to figure out what all they're going to wind up continuing to have incentives on. But right now they've got all the incentives still. So
yeah, they're still in place.
They're still in place.
Elon hadn't gotten to them yet.
Right. And who knows what's going to happen. He may keep them. I don't really know, but
Get them while you can.
yeah, but right now they're still working hard to make sure you get all the incentives you can get the most tax credits that you can possibly get. And they're putting really good panels on the homes. They're not putting out the junk that a lot of these places are putting out. They've got really good people who can help you with your roofing needs as well. So get your roof done, get your solar done. Those can be done independently from each other.
Yeah.
But they can do all of it at one time, in one package, in one lump sum, get it all done. Really, really good people. If you want to know more, give them a call, 936-286-8325.
Yep. And for all of you business owners and entrepreneurs out there, we actually are having a business education get together that we're partnering with the Net on.
That's right.
So we're going to be doing a live show with my attorney, David Meredith from the Meredith Law Firm, for business owners and operators. It's a ticketed event, so you're gonna have to go online and get a ticket. So you can find those on Facebook. They're $15 a ticket. But we're gonna be doing a live interview with David talking about corporations and trusts and contracts and all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah,
that business owners. We have so many business people that come on the show. They've been asking us for a long time, like, hey, could you do some business content?
Yeah.
And so we're going to be providing that for them. But maybe you're thinking about starting a business. Maybe you're thinking about getting into the entrepreneur space and are concerned about exposure, concerned about liabilities, concerned about the future of your assets. And so we're going to be discussing all that with David, who takes care of that for me in my business and has for a long time.
Yep.
Does an incredible job. And so we're going to be doing that. We're going to be interviewing him, and then we're going to be doing a live Q&A with all the business people there. We have some VIP tables available. And we already have 3 tables booked for that. So that's exciting, man. We're going to be hanging out at B52, drinking some adult beverages and having conversations.
And food.
So there's going to be some food. We're gonna wait and release that later as to who's gonna be doing the food, because that's gonna be fun.
It will be.
So there may be some surprise guests along the way, but mostly this is all about business education,
right?
And so we're getting together with the Net. We're gonna be doing that. It's gonna be a blast.
And if you'd like to sponsor it, contact us.
Yeah, let us know.
If there's 3 tables right now, I'm not sure yet exactly how many we're gonna have available, but that being said, let us know. We still have some spots available. You get some.
There is limited space.
There is, but you get some perks.
Yeah, you get some. If you're a VIP sponsor, you do get a private reception before the event with David. And so if you want to meet him, get to know him, it's going to be a great opportunity. But it's also just going to be a great networking opportunity,
right,
to talk with some other high level business operators.
That's right.
And just shake some hands.
That's right. So let us know if you want to be part of that. And we actually have a new sponsor coming starting in April. So we're pretty excited
to bring them on the
bring
show
them on
yeah.
as well. So anyway, lots of cool things happening on the Homeowner Show. Thank you guys for staying up to date with us and sticking with us. We are now the #1 podcast
for homeowners.
For homeowners.
Yeah,
it's happened.
You didn't know.
You didn't even know. If you hadn't known, go to Facebook. We do all the fun stuff there.
Yep.
Instagram, all the places. YouTube. Like, subscribe. Thank you for listening. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
See ya.